everyone, Lou here. I've been messing around with The Sims 4 now more than ever lately, so I thought it'd be fun to do another video of making my OCs in The Sims 4. Now, just a disclaimer that I do use mods, or custom content as it's called in the Sims 4 community. I don't really have links to most of them because I have so many mods and I didn't really plan to make videos recording the Sims 4 when I downloaded all of them, so unfortunately I don't have links to them, but feel free to comment down below and I'll try to pull up the ones I use after some digging. Okay, so here's a fun fact about me. I love Pirates of the Caribbean's film series, at least before it went to shit with that last one, because they clearly ran out of ideas after Captain Salazar and his really cool design. And I mean, no one can top how fucking cool Davy Jones and his crew looked. Anyway, so when I was about 15, I want to say, I made an OC for the series. I think this was actually the first live-action series I made an OC for, but then again, the live-action shows I do watch normally don't have room for OCs like, I don't know, Peaky Blinders and House of the Dragon, so anyway, Nan was loosely inspired by Felicity Merriman, one of my favorite American Girl doll characters, which, if y'all want to see that, check out the video on my channel. She was originally a much younger character, something about disguising herself as a cabin boy for a different motivation, I think. According to some old shit I found on my computer anyway. However, when Disney revamped the Pirates of the Caribbean ride around 2018, I think, they remade the redheaded lady to be a pirate during the auction scene, so it really sparked me to revamp Nan into a fiery pirate girl teenager, because who doesn't love a sassy lost child, am I right? So Nancy O'Day, or Nan as I like to call her, was originally from Ireland. Her mom died of childbirth because typical fucking Tuesday for the 18th century, am I right? Yeah, so then her dad decided to take up the booming trading business in the Caribbean by moving her, his sister, and him down to Port Royal, where he starts his new trading company business. Except, uh-oh, he didn't file the proper licenses for trading goods, so officials jail him somewhere unknown and charge him with piracy. Whoopsies! Nan pops off that her dad was imprisoned unfairly, so she decides to become a pirate to terrorize the British Navy in hopes that it'll someday tell her where her dad is. All the while, she's starting to really vibe with piracy for funsies. Of course, I'm not 100% satisfied with this for now as Nan's backstory. All my OCs are subject to change since, you know, she was a younger, softer character before, but so far I'm pretty happy with Nan's story. I mean, I get it's not as historically accurate as it could be, but hey, you know, neither is Pirates of the Caribbean, so I say it all works out and it all fits. Now, I did have to heavily rely on mods for Nan's design here because the only pirate clothing in The Sims 4 is kind of fucking ugly and it's from the Get Famous pack, so, you know, you can only make one outfit stretch so much. So I chose a bunch of different looks to kind of show her before and after becoming a pirate, if that makes sense. One of my favorite Kaito songs is Ashes to Ashes by Tenon. I just think it's a really awesome song. I love the sort of story of someone who outlives someone else, be it immortality or tragedy, who falls into an empty madness, and the music video in particular is my favorite. Like, this is peak Vocaloid music videos in Project Diva, and my all-time favorite one for Kaito. I just really wish they hit hard like this again with music videos because damn, this was so good. The reason I say this is because that was my major inspiration for Leonard. I love this song so much that I just started to think about the meaning by reading the translated lyrics and all that. My mind eventually just kind of snowballed into Leonard. Now, I should mention his original name was actually Vincent, but basically I ended up confusing some people behind the scenes with that name with another OC of mine, and you know, my love of Black Butler would kind of confuse the shit out of people when CL's father is also named Vincent, so I renamed him to Leonard because it's a cool name and sounds admittedly fancier than what I came up with before. Leonard is an automaton modeled after the real Leonard DeLorean I, who died in a horse riding accident. His parents were so grief-stricken that they commissioned a mysterious inventor to rebirthed their son, where he made the automaton Leonard. For a while, the kingdom rejoiced that their prince was revived, or just alive, and he acted like the real Leonard did for a while, except as time went on, Leonard would find that his parents would get old while he never aged. When his mother died of old age, he was still 19, and he was starting to teeter on pain and felt like something was wrong with him. It was when his father died of old age that he went against his parents' wishes and investigated a closed-off area of the garden in the castle that they forbade him from ever visiting. He searched for hours and hours and found the grave of the real Leonard de Lorne. Not knowing what the fuck that meant, because, anyone would be pretty confused as shit that they found a grave with their own name and a date you're pretty sure you didn't die on. So he started digging the grave open with his bare hands. Digging like this peeled off the artificial skin on his hands, so when he was done, he saw the skeleton of the real Leonard and his robotic hands. He put two and two together and realized he was a fake this entire time. Leonard pretty much broke after that and went completely insane after that. This dude lost it so bad that his subjects all pieced out and fled, because I don't think anyone wants to deal with a crazy robot ruling their country. After that, the kingdom began to wither away, and so did Leonard, with cracks on his face and his right eye exposed for its mechanics. I'd love to show that, but I was a little pressed for time for this video, and I couldn't find a mod of the exact kind of cracks and robotics I was looking for, so I just made him a vampire here, and sort of example to the cracks on one of his sides of his face using the weird crack things the vampire DLC comes with. The inventor who made him, by the way, dude just yeeted after Leonard's creation, so he has no one to repair him, so he starts to fall apart mentally and physically bit by bit. Who knew that a Vocaloid song could inspire all that in my head, huh? Leonard is a character I've actually drawn a lot traditionally in my sketchbooks. I'm not gonna show them here though, because they are really bad, but maybe someday I'll share a digital drawing here of Leonard. You never know, it could be my next video even that has a drawing of Leonard. This was a pretty difficult OC to put in The Sims 4 just because she's so fantasy focused. I didn't write her for D&D because that's actually another OC who I wrote exclusively for a D&D campaign I tried once. Side tangent, definitely not someone who plays D&D, but I love watching other people play it. But anyway, honestly, I feel like Arya would probably work best as a Baldur's Gate 3 character than something in The Sims 4, but I wanted to at least try to show her in this game because, hey, why not, right? Unfortunately, the medieval fantasy modded clothing options for The Sim 4 is still kinda meh because it's either too fancy or too stereotypical for Arya, so I'm just gonna try to use what's available in both vanilla game and my modded clothing collection. Okay, so Arya lives in your stereotypical fantasy story with elves, sirens, werewolves, etc. Like Dungeons and Dragons or even Berserk to some extent. She's a descendant of sirens, I want to say a 3rd or 4th generation siren, so she can't turn into a mermaid obviously, but she can control and hurt people with her singing voice. Think like cursed speech in Jujutsu Kaisen, but with singing instead. Arya's parents died when she was little, her mother being the one with the siren blood for those curious and who she got her siren ancestry from. So when she was about 10, she joined an entertainment caravan to earn money and a place to sleep. When she was 18, she was performing for a prince's birthday, and it was totally romantic love at first sight on both sides, and he defied his father and married her because cutesy romantic love. His brother and father hated this marriage because Arya was just a performer, but soon changed their tune when they realized Arya had a magical singing voice. So basically at this point, the king would threaten Arya and made her take out political enemies with her voice, and it just kept escalating until her husband was in prison. Yeah, dude imprisoned his own son, and the prince's brother was all for this because he was the younger brother. Things would escalate so much that the prince would die, and it made Arya snap and take matters into her own hands, to kill the king with her voice before fleeing into the night. After that, the surviving prince announced Arya murdered the king and his brother, so she's wanted for 2 counts of murder and sentenced to hanging if she's caught. Now she's in another kingdom, or a continent entirely, where she tries to build herself back up and perform on the streets solo, but is kinda scared to sing publicly knowing the trouble it caused for her. I know it's pretty generic, stereotypical even. This is mainly because Arya is a new OC of mine, who I haven't really had the chance yet to expand her story and change anything. I mean, it was pretty different before, since I wrote she had a child before, but now she doesn't, because it was just way too messy to throw a kid into all this drama. Still, she's a work in progress, so things are subject to change too, just like Nan earlier. With that, only because these OCs have pretty lengthy stories, that'll be it for this video. Let me know down below what you guys think of these OCs, and maybe even some tips if you guys want to help improve them in any way. I just gotta make a statement here, nobody please steal my OCs. I'm not the world's greatest writer, I know I'm not very good, but I've always been kind of paranoid with people stealing my characters or their designs based off of past experiences friends have told me about, so I just want to mention it here. Please don't steal my OCs. As always though, let me know down below what you guys think. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. If any of you would like to help support my channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description, along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas, or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!